Hello YouTube. Let's start this video with two small things. Unfortunately, I'm still sick, so if you hear that in my voice, I'm very sorry. If I start sneezing, coughing, sniffling, or lose my voice halfway through this video, you know why. I'm very sorry about that. It seems to have gotten a bit worse. And second thing, someone donated a bit of Ethereum yesterday, and I just wanted to thank you for that. It's very much appreciated, and it was very nice of you. I don't know who you are, obviously, but you're awesome. Thank you. Anyways, just a quick video today because you know, my voice. Just wanted to take a look at the market and at a few articles that, as you can see, I have open up here. Let's start with the markets. Let me refresh this quickly. We see the markets mostly up, with a few coins in the red, and the ones that are up are only slightly up. Ripple 0.5%, Stellar 0.4%, Litecoin 1.8%, Bitcoin Cash doing spectacularly well, 11.59% up. We see Bitcoin Cash at almost 10% of Bitcoin's value again. A while ago it had fallen to, I believe, under 5% of Bitcoin's value, but it has been recovering a lot against Bitcoin the last couple of days. Ethereum up 2.3%, Bitcoin up 2.98%. It was up a bit more earlier, the entire market. It was pretty much a sea of green earlier, and now we have a bit of red in between. A small correction has happened since, because we see Bitcoin testing the $7,300 point here. If we look at the charts from the last day, you can see it reaching it. Every now and then, it just briefly will go to 7,300, 7,306, 7,301. But this is definitely a resistance that we need to overcome. And looking back at the main page, we see Bitcoin dominance up a bit higher than it was yesterday, 52.9%, and the market cap at 237 billion. Earlier, it was at 239 billion, so the entire market has fallen about 1% since an hour or two ago. But it's looking like a minor correction because most of the coins are still up. Let's start with a ridiculous article. Anything besides Bitcoin is useless. Come on. Come the fuck on. David Drake, founder of LDJ Capital, was the moderator for a matchup between, I don't know how to pronounce his name, and Tone Hayes. Drake was quick to note Rubini's prediction of the 2008 economic crisis. Okay, we are meant to believe here, because he predicted the 2008 economic crisis, that his predictions about Bitcoin are good as well, that we should be paying attention. But let me just say this. The 2008 economic crisis was obviously going to happen. It was just a question exactly when. We have an economic crisis just about every 10 to 15 years. We're actually overdue for one right now. And there were a lot of warning signs before 2008. You didn't need to be a genius to predict that economic crisis. In the discussion, Rubini noted that his experience in blockchain stems from his ability to see a bubble when it exists. Citation needed. We have one example, and that was one everyone could have seen. Weiss responded with his outlook on the crypto space. Former trader Weiss, now a speaker and prominent YouTuber, says he disagrees with Noel on the dysfunction of the crypto space. However, Weiss maintains that anything besides Bitcoin is useless and anything else is scammy or fraudulent. Okay, this is where we know we don't even need to be paying attention to these people. This is just such complete bullshit. Like, if we look at the major coins on the market, Bitcoin is only in first place because it was the first. Bitcoin's technology is hopelessly outdated, and they have been playing catch-up with better, newer currencies for years. Bitcoin is only in number one because it has a certain prestige, because it has tradition, because it has a lot of people who believe in it, not because it's actually any good. Now, when Bitcoin was first out and it was the only cryptocurrency, Bitcoin was revolutionary. But since then, we are in the second or even third generation of cryptos now, and Bitcoin can't compare. So calling anything else useless, when Bitcoin has hopelessly outdated technology, when the networks keep slowing down to a crawl, when transaction fees are crazy high, when transactions take far too long, when 4 accounts are controlling 51% of the market. That's ridiculous. That is just utterly ridiculous, especially calling them scammy or fraudulent. There's so many legitimate projects backed by companies with partnerships with banks, with massive tech giants, of which Bitcoin has barely any, just saying. It's ridiculous. This is utter bullshit, and it's crazy that anyone listens to these people at all. It's absolutely insane. It shows that they have no knowledge of what is actually happening, or they're purposely misrepresenting stuff because they probably hold Bitcoin. Anyways, that's all I'm gonna say about this article. It's a complete mess. Next up. Bitcoin, Ripple, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash perpetual futures contracts launched by crypto facilities. We've seen a lot of futures launched in the last couple of weeks. We saw Ethereum futures. I think this is the first perpetual futures, which are not set to a certain time. Like futures will usually be for like 1 year, something like this. These don't have an end time. They are done every 6 hours, every 4 hours. They are settled. So yeah, these are out for pretty much all the major currencies now. We see a lot more of these coming. Next up. Yeah, I'm kind of going through these quickly because I can tell my voice is disappearing. Global Bitcoin ATM market to be worth 145 million by 2023. Now, that doesn't sound like that huge a number when we're dealing with cryptocurrencies that have market caps in the billions, and with companies like Ripple having 20 billion in funding. But this is still a big number because Bitcoin ATMs are not that big a thing yet. This report is forecasting is forecasting growth at a compound annual growth rate of 54.7% in the next 5 years. And that way we're getting to 144 million. And they are predicting that most of the ATMs in the future will be buy and sell and not just buy. Right now, most Bitcoin ATMs, if you are even lucky enough to have one in your city, in your country, let alone your city, most of them are buy only. So this is predicting a lot of growth in that market. Next up. Some adoption news. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I love adoption. I love when companies, when countries, when provinces, when cities start using blockchain technology or crypto tokens. Taiwan Hospital launched its blockchain platform to improve medical record keeping. The Taipei Medical University Hospital has rolled out a blockchain-powered platform to improve medical record keeping. The so-called healthcare blockchain platform was purportedly developed in order to support the government's medical system policy, improve patient referral services, and integrate individual healthcare networks to enable people to access their medical records in an easier way, because obviously it will all be stored on a blockchain. To make a request for their records, patients can log into a password-protected mobile app. This is being used by over 100 clinics, and this is a very interesting application of blockchain technology, and I think we will see more of this. This is similar to the news I reported on the other day, where Moscow is using, I think Moscow is using Ethereum to give away the plots for their market, their city market. This is just all the information can be on a blockchain and only accessible to people who need to access it, but still immutable. It can't be changed by anyone, it can't be fucked with, it's always accessible. So this is the kind of stuff that is perfect for blockchain. And last but not least, South Korean province issues its own cryptocurrency. This is the province of, I'm not going to pronounce that. And so far they had their own currency for gift cards, and they are now replacing that with their own cryptocurrency. And another unusual application. So this cryptocurrency is only meant for gift cards that you can use in the entire city. Still interesting, they will produce $100 million worth of them every year. So, 2 interesting applications of crypto, of blockchain announced in the last couple days. I think I'm gonna end this video here. I'm sorry, I was just blowing through these, I was just rushing through, but I'm feeling a bit worse than I thought I did before I started making this video. If you watched nonetheless, then thank you very much, and I will see you guys on Monday. Hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. Bye.